And on this Thanksgiving, new information on intelligence agencies saying terror groups are making a lot of noise, chatter, they say, about potential attacks during the U.S. holiday season all the way through Inauguration Day in January. They say anywhere a big crowd gathers could now be a risk, from airports to train and bus stations to the parades we see around the holidays. And don't forget your local shopping mall this time of year. They will be packed tomorrow. Steve Rogers, former member of the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, retired lieutenant commander from the Office of Naval Intelligence. Happy Thanksgiving. It'd be nice if we had a Thanksgiving where we didn't have to talk about all this.
Well, but we could surely thank God that we have the equipment, the tools, the manpower to address these issues and prevent a terrorist attack. What I saw today in New York City, as I came here to your studio, an extraordinary amount of police manpower outside. Now, you couple that with the technology that this city has. Look what you had today, a beautiful parade, and people were protected.
Well, people were protected. Look out on 6th Avenue right now, live pictures now. They're just starting to clean up the Macy's Day Parade. And at one level, when you were out there, it looked almost like an armed camp as you walked around with officers with automatic weapons. And then the other thing that people saw, and this was new this year, was these dump trucks laden with sand to try and protect from cars or dump trucks, or for that matter, some kind of delivery truck, something like that, being turned into a weapon and being driven into the crowds like we saw in Nice, France. The question is, are we always planning for the last attack? Is it sort of that it doesn't seem as though we're ever looking forward. We're just putting in measures to prevent what's happened in the past.
Well, we're certainly doing that, but we're also putting measures in place from lessons learned from past attacks. I could tell you that, and boy, here's a shout out to the New York City Police Department and the police departments in the state of New Jersey, collaborating intelligence together, working together to set up strategic and tactical plans to address a possible terrorist attack. What you saw out there with the trucks, you didn't see the radiation equipment, a lot of dogs. And you know what's different? I noticed something very different from the past, was the immense amount of police officers out there, because human intelligence, the eyes of police officers who are trained to see what needs to be seen to prevent an attack. It was very extraordinary today.
So for a department like the NYPD that is well versed in this, they have their own counterterrorism department, and part of the department that deals with this, experts in this field. This is a light workout, a big parade or something like this. But all of a sudden you go to Oklahoma City or Farmington, Nebraska, insert name of town in middle America. Police departments aren't equipped to deal with this kind of thing. And you have situations where you have large crowds, be it at shopping malls on Black Friday, be it at holiday concerts and tree lighting ceremonies. Is it possible to protect everywhere all the time, or we have to accept a certain amount of risk this time of year?
You just identified the greatest concern of law enforcement practitioners nationwide. The city, well guarded. But what about these small towns? What about these malls? What about these civic activities taking place? A lot of training has to be done with local police departments in small departments in small cities. These police officers have to be as trained as NYPD officers are with regard to intelligence collection and information. And the key to that is, again, police manpower. Now, it's going to be costly, all right? Very costly. But I think as the new administration takes power, you're going to see a lot more funding go to local police departments to prevent an attack even in those areas.
And see if we can't train them to be as aware and see things in the same way the NYPD does. Quickly, want to get to this time of year specifically, and we say that terrorists look towards the holidays. Well, in fact, they've tried attacks during the holidays. You think about the underwear bomber on Christmas Day, the shoe bomber, also a few days before Christmas there. Video from 2009 Christmas Day when the underwear bomber was thwarted. The plane landed at Detroit. It also combines the busiest travel time of the year as well. Is it possible for the TSA and those groups to be able to stop whatever's next from the terrorists, or is it sort of this cat and mouse game they're playing?
You could never prevent every single attempted terrorist attack, but I'll tell you what a key factor is, and we've said it here on Fox many times. If you see something, say something. We have to work together as citizens of this country and as professional law enforcement practitioners. We work together, we prevent a terrorist attack.
Well, we saw that both during the underwear bomber and the shoe bomber. It was the passengers on the plane that prevented it.
Well, you're right. It wasn't technology.
Right, it
was the people. So you know what? We could thank God that we have a resilient nation, and that when it comes to terrorism, we're all going to come together and we're going to beat them before they beat us.
Well, a thankful and hopeful message this Thanksgiving. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much, and thank the good Lord.
For sure. All the best. Arthel?
Thanks, Steve. Leland.